Hello, everybody! Welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting Link to the Past Randomizer Survivors of Hyrule Tournament 2024. We got the semifinals for you today. It's Telethar versus Specks. Commentating for us are Clearmouse and Iker. No, sorry, wrong. Commentating for us are Clearmouse and Jam, and tracking is Iker. Say hello, everybody.
Yo, Ricky. How's it going, Jam?
Hey, yeah, how's it going? It's going great on my end.
Yeah, no, it's doing well. Yeah, thanks so much, Iker, for tracking. Master Tracker, little mini, actually, SGL reunion. Maybe actually, preview for 2024. Hopefully everyone can make it for this crew. But yeah, looking forward to Survivors of Hyrule. Yeah, we've these guys need absolutely no introduction. We have Telethar versus Specks. Very, very famous, both of them in their own right. Of course, Specks, very famous, of course, for Specky clip. If you actually ever look at his stream, he has the infamous screenshot, right, of him hooking over and skipping a whole key, and a whole hammer in Swamp. It's pretty amazing.
Love this guy. He found something right.
Yeah. It's sometimes a blessing to curse. In fact, well, okay, so on the one hand, I believe Captain Humbug, on Telethar's team has magnanimously given up his AD keys mode, apparently, that Telethar's playing today, versus Specks, versus Swordless. He's claiming all of the fun, for himself. I was gonna say, for Specky clip, it was a blessing and a curse. And Swordless, I think they really wish that Specky clip didn't exist in Swamp.
No, you just can't. You just have to play honest and actually get your hammer.
Okay. Well, who does that? I mean, certainly. Well, yeah. There's survivors. So still, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Surviving, right? But okay, but you know what? Swordless. We don't got to think about that today. We're only gonna be swordless for surely 2 minutes, right? 5 minutes max. Well, we're gonna get a fire sword.
I'm okay, sure
yeah,
that,
yeah, you're right. And again, so looking at the team history, the 4 modes that they rolled, this matchup is rolled up. The only actually difference between the Boomer Rangers first round is actually AD keys versus cross keys. Every other mode has been the same, and actually in Jembro and Airy actually playing the same modes as they did last round, and Humbug is taking over Swordless, and Telethar is the one who's playing AD keys. So hopefully we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, interesting. I bet Telethar is a little bit sad that he didn't get Swordless this time.
See, I thought that too.
The guy off the team, but
exactly. He has so much practice. He has so much practice during the Rumble stage, right? When he and Mike, were representing their team in Swordless, and had to survive. Right? The first round he was also playing Swordless. I had to survive, and here, Humbug was like, what, Telethar, make it look so much fun. I'm gonna take that fun from myself, as do team captains do,
Yeah, it's actually not. It's actually quite the abuse of power, and I'm not a fan of that. I hope Humbug realizes that he's not acting very well here and changes for the better in the future.
It's almost sometimes self-inflicted though, because there hasn't been a mutiny on the Boomer Ranger side yet, and they're also returning champions. Right? If they don't kick Humbug out of the team, at some point it becomes their own fault. Just saying, can't blame Humbug after that.
Yeah, that's true. I guess they believe that he will lead them to victory again.
Yeah, that's what? If it happened once, it certainly could happen again. However, though, this matchup, that we have, certainly Telethar versus Specks, is a extremely formidable matchup. So Telethar, I won't say he has, certainly quite the reputation. Specks, though, he was, I won't say even maybe about a year ago. Okay, is anyone really new? At this point, probably at Rando. I mean, Specks was probably on the on the fresher side, right? And the amount that he has improved and gotten to where he is in that short a time is is absolutely nuts. He's right up there. He's won daily races, all large group races. He is someone very scary to face, and especially in mode AD keys. And yeah, I don't know who would survive, out of these two.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Yeah, they're both Telethar and Specks, are newer players, at least for somebody that's been in the community as long as me. And both of these have improved so incredibly quickly.
Mhm.
Telethar just has been in the community a little bit longer. That's why he's, had more time to prove. But both of these are like super, super scary and just massive improvements in very short
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I mean, and Rando certainly, Rando's it's a combination of certainly very strong execution, also very good like routing sense. There's certainly difference between, being able to, kind of maybe get a sense of where the seed is trying to get you to go, right? Certainly they're very knowledgeable about logic, right? And sometimes you just have a better sense of like how to, especially for a mode like 80 keys, you're trying to make things as efficient for yourself as possible. Don't try and double back to to places. Also, don't leave holes. For your routing, especially maybe you'll hold off an area if you maybe can't think that you're going to be able to do like enough coverage. Right, and these guys have certainly to get where they are now, they certainly have a very good grasp of that.
Yeah, and you make a very great point about being able to keep track of logic, especially for this mode. It's super important, and it makes sense that these two guys ended up playing this mode because they are very strong at this.
Yes,
so
yeah.
This should be a super good matchup.
I definitely agree. One of the things that also, so I think maybe like the only kind of major difference right now, we just see probably should talk about the actual race itself and these just guys. Okay. We got a Bo, by the way. Waiting for Bo is already passed.
Okay.
Yes, so Specks went to the back of Escape early with that glove. I think they both found what was it, Uncle somewhere front of Escape. Somewhere early.
I think it was like Sank or Link's House or something.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It was super early, and so very much rewarded immediately with the mitts. And we're just looking for purple. Looks like Telethar is going to go. He's going to go to the back escape real quick. As fast as we could possibly hold down.
Yep.
We hold down, right?
Actually skipping race game here and the library check. He
Sure,
set it up so he didn't have bombs coming into CAC, so he had to walk south already. And then he set it up so he could save and quit out of the back of the wall to save some time. And those arrows would have actually been nice.
Yeah, yes, that is true. I don't think we're going back though, unless there was a magical small key to Hyrule Castle in one of those chests, which could have happened, but obviously we saw from Specks' side that it was not the case. And we probably were going to go back to the arrows. Even sometimes like early ammunition, as you mentioned, and resources at this stage can actually make or break. Like sometimes your routing, especially as it looks like we're. I assume Specks also can kind of head over where Telethar is. We're gonna do South Shore. He should have enough ammunition, right? Yeah, for mini.
Yeah, they both have a good amount of. Yeah, they have plenty bombs. It's just like if you had the arrows, you could save some bombs. You would also be able to splash delete if you go to Zora Ledge, but I guess it isn't casual boots, so you don't actually go to Zora Ledge unless you find the boots.
We didn't need those arrows, by the way. Maybe Telethar recognized the prize packs?
That's true. That's true. Many more mobs are in the same price pack as the rats, so you do get some arrows here. Okay, so Specks is choosing to go to the dam here, whereas Telethar delayed it for now. Probably planning to do it with Agna after he's done with Ice Road Cave here.
Yeah, it's also,
Specks is choosing the more traditional route of just doing dam into Mini Molom Cave, into Ice Road Cave, and then just not doing Agna unless he has to.
Yeah, and boots, flute, whatever. Okay, maybe flute, but like Agina is one of those locations where in Light World. It's certainly going to be one of the last ones that people go after, and even in Dark World. Now, after you get Dark World, like the more remote like a location is, probably the harder it's going to be to go back there, especially when you have so much more access. But yeah, it's definitely on the probably like the top like 10-ish maybe. Like locations usually that just never go checked because it's just so remote.
Yeah, I mean, also means slow, and while trying to go fast here, so it makes sense you try to avoid checking those if you don't need to.
Oh yeah. Right. I mean, talking about actually, doing efficiency. Some of the risk reward that we kind of will probably end up seeing, certainly later on this seed as well. But like Agina's actually a good example, right? Of where in this case you want to invest your time, even in the early game when things are a little bit even more limited. You still want to consider like how much time do you want to initially invest in maybe even checking some of the out-of-way locations, right? You know, certainly these guys are going to probably look for density first. You know, we see Telethar going over to Hostela, maybe going over to Eastern, depending on. We do have a bow. We're only just looking for that Eastern Palace big key, you know, in order to full clear out the dungeon. We can still have a nice compass at these down.
Eastern compass, yes. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually a little bit surprised that Telethar went here before doing them to Agina. Like you said, we already have the bow, so we're really only missing the Eastern big key to be able to clear Eastern. But he's just taking, well, the risk of leaving the big key behind in Dam or Agina.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not unreasonable. Yeah, I do know that, especially in entrance, some people are very, very adamant about never visiting Eastern Palace without having the ability to full clear it in one shot. Now that being said, though, it's not entrance, right? You don't necessarily have that many opportunities to, in this case, get like your big key and your bow. We certainly, you know, as you mentioned, have one component. However, though, like, you know, it's only a couple locations. Maybe it's okay, right? And we also still have the opportunity or the possibility that the Eastern Palace Biggie is just here in Eastern.
Exactly. And yeah, like you said, this is not entrance. We don't, until we have the Aqua access, there's so many locations that are barred off, and it's likely that Eastern locks there's a Darkwood entrance, so yeah. A lot of the time you're just forced to double dip Eastern, whereas like an entrance, it makes more sense to delay it because you have more access to more stuff and can pretty often at least avoid the double dip.
Well, we'll see what camp we're on, you know, at the end of all this. All right, yeah, but tell us when you go through.
Let me rephrase. More often than in non-entrance.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I don't believe though that either, you know, Telethar or Specks has, you know, any particular ties, you know, or aversions, you know, or even you know, motivations to, you know, visit early Eastern. We actually do see Specks kind of going over to Uncle in the front of Escape. This is also a very valid location, you know, for things to be, you know, pretty dense. We've already done the back of Escape with the glove. Okay, that's the big Eastern. That would have been a little. I mean, very fortunate for Specks. Maybe a little bit sad for Telethar.
Yeah, but that's how it actually started Uncle. So he has already been here. He already has the key.
For sure. Oh, okay, that's a good point. But I guess we're gonna do the front of Escape, and yeah, so Specks he's actually not too healthy. Like in that, if we, you know, somebody don't find a mirror, he can probably go to like Zelda Cell and Dark Cross together. Just kind of death whip out of one of them, and probably won't take too long.
Yep. Probably he will do that. We're out of logical checks already, except for Agina, so I think that's where our progression is, right? We didn't really find anything in Eastern, except for like a Scarlet Smoky. Wait, yes. Oh yeah, Zora.
Look at
very good
look at Iker. See, this is why he is like he knows how to track. He actually has also remember things. Yeah. Oh, Zora. Oh, that's actually pretty close. We have like close to Zora money.
Yes, actually skipped 300 on race game. Telethar hasn't checked that yet. He might do it as a one-off, but probably he would rather do Dam into Agina first, would my guess. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Well, so Specks also picked up the shovel in the dam. I don't know if that's going to kind of push him back over to like race game area. I mean, or at least to go check out the dig spot. But right now, like he probably would just go over to Agina, as you mentioned.
Yeah. So I think what Telethar's going to do is going to do the dam, and if he doesn't have Zora money yet, he will he will walk to Agina after this, and if he doesn't have Zora money at that point, he will lift the smoke rock to farm 50 rupees, or, well, in this case 30, so he gets to the 500. So he has the option to the Zora, but I think he will still just do shot into race game next after he's done with Agina if there's no progression.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, and right now, like Agina, like has either direct progression, you know, as in I can have her Pearl, right, and then we can just go to Dark World. It can also have something that leads to progression. So, for example, if we can get a book, let's just turn straight back around and, you know, go into desert. You know, that could, you know, I think that opens up another check, like the map chest or something. In logic, I surely, you know, and or can it, you know, probably my guess is it'll probably be like a lamp or something. That can open up a lot more stuff. By a lot, I mean, I guess we can go up the mountain. We can go do Dark Cross, which is Spect actually, it looks like he did not do, which is out of logic. Or he did already.
No, he did. Okay. I don't think. I'm pretty sure I didn't see him in the Dark World.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't think so either. Thanks, Iker. Yeah. Hey, look,
Okay,
look,
so-
it's our pearl. It's our pearl. Yay.
And after the Zora. Yeah, Telethar actually proved me a lie. He didn't get the money in the 50 rupee cave. Which,
Well, so,
I mean, kind of risky.
he has the shovel, okay? I believe,
Okay,
okay, like, you know, there are people who have one-digged their way to bottle vendor money with the shovel, all right? Certainly, Telethar can couple dig it to Zora money if he needs to.
That's true, that's true. I have full faith in his shoveling skills.
Alright, Telethar just kind of leaving it on the ground, and yeah, so this is actually kind of a nice, you know, way of going back, as you mentioned, to the village. We only have one Dark World portal access available to us. You know, of course, that's only being, you know, having mid-century, the only real way we can go in through is Village of Outcasts. Dark Life World, which is Kakariko. So the fact that he hasn't scouted this, right, means that he, you know, it's kind of a nice way to be able to combine it. We'll just go from the south instead of the north.
Yeah, this worked out super efficiently for him. He got to do Shovel and the Race Game Scout and the Library Scout on his way to the Dark World. Whereas Specks just walks to the Dark World once he finds the pearl.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, it's and as you mentioned, right? Like to being able to even like in some of these like early time efficiencies, it is going to add up. I mean, this is, you know, all dungeons key sanity. All the keys and maps and compasses are shuffled. We have to do all the dungeons, right? Right now, we're kind of, you know, bereft of any type of movement item other than our trusty D-pad that I'm sure is, you know, furiously holding up right now. Yes.
They might be pumping, right? Because,
you're right. Okay, yes,
you're
right.
What do you do with your time?
So long as you pump when it gains you time, right? Because you can anti-pump.
Yeah,
like you go to the right. Don't pump if you hold to the right. Then you're actually gonna lose time. That is against your own interest. But speaking of against our own interest, okay, so Telethar is here in Skullwoods. What do we have in Skullwoods? What is our tracker? 2 small keys. Okay, well we can get to places like that.
That's nice. Yeah, it's nice. He can walk out, so the step is really nice. And has armor. Nice.
Thank you, Dunka. I'll be thinking if I smell some, like, you know, brisket, you know, cooking, it's probably you. Ooh, talk about, yeah, more value. Yes. Yeah, we got swamp. You know, whatever, you know, happens with swamp, we have to go do it. It is all dungeons. Thank you, Lord Linda. It is Eastern is a crystal. I think we did see that on Telethar's side when he ended up going in, as well as Specks, you know, with that nice, you know, happy capital C. Is this just like Go Mode Palace or Dungeon Woods?
Yeah, he's actually in Go Mode right now.
Okay, all right. Well, we opened up like 4 chests in Skull Woods, and they all have progression. So.
Yeah, unlike non-keys modes, and keys, Skull Woods is actually pretty good. You just have immediate access to 5 items. That are guaranteed to be items and not like junk. So it's a good place to be.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, and I think Magno, you know, as part of Specs 4 Gamers team, has actually said on record that, you know, Skull was basically just like Overworld. You just kind of treat it, you know, when you go into Dark World, you can just kind of go do it, you know. And right now, like, yes, technically Mothula, you need all 3 small keys, you know, to put kind of Mothula logic, but you know, we won't have to worry about it. Speaking of Smoke Rock, the 50 Rupee Cave has been uncovered.
Yep.
Trusting his pot pickup ability. He has already seen that the shovel had a hard piece, you know, the dig spot, so I think he has lost all faith in the shovel.
Yeah, he just doesn't have... Like, he just has Agana and Zora left in Logic. So, yeah, he's probably regretting not getting a 300 from Race Game right now. And he's gonna regret farming this money once he finds the third Agana.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah, but it's just like it kind of makes sense. Like, dude, I don't know. Like, it just sucks to walk out of Agana to come back here. Like, you just lose.
Yeah. No.
Like, that's almost the same time you lose now just farming this for no reason.
Yeah. So. No. That's I know that makes a ton of sense. I mean, people like already really like, you know, begrudgingly go into Akina, like, all right, it's like, okay, I guess it may, you know, come out of it, but then you have to walk out and then you have to go all the way back there walking. You can't even dash. Like, holy, you know, you just, man, you know, don't have a comfy pillow next to you, you know. That's just, it's just tempting you to go back to sleep. I think we timed it once, right? It was 26 seconds to go to Agina for one check. It is so slow.
Or was it with boots or without? I feel like
I think it might have been even with boots. Like, it's something that, you know, again, you know, this is one of those things where you kind of see people sometimes. Well, both Telethar and Specks ended up doing this earlier, but sometimes people end up skipping Eastern House big key chests, you know, because like even with boots, it's a whole minute in order to get in there. I mean, let alone without boots, like, you know, sometimes it's just not worth your time.
Yeah, like it's certainly very tempting to just save quid out of Compass chest in Eastern and just not worry about the big key chest until you have Lamp.
Yeah, I can certainly see them doing that this time too. You know, just because, like, you know, again, like Lamp hasn't shown up. But then again, you know, if you regret things a little bit more if Lamp actually does show up later. You know, let's say Lamp was a Gina, and then you're just like, oh man.
Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah. I mean, but that, you know, I guess that's a trade-off. You know, that you have to kind of make. You know, sometimes in your risk, you know, profile for, you know, how, you know, like what your calculus is and how you feel like. You know, how much risk you're willing to take, you know, at what stage of the game. You know, maybe early game you're less willing to take it, maybe early game you're more willing to take it. It could also depend on your opponent. I don't know how much Telethar respects kind of metagames off each other, but certainly could be consideration. You know, if they think that in this case, like if your opponent ends up also like more likely to skip it, maybe they're also willing to skip it too, right? Because at least you're on even footing. But you know, or you want to you know maintain parity, you know, with your opponent.
Yeah. Telethar. So they both have the Thieves on big key, not the small key yet, so the only thing in the back that's in logic in the back is actually Zelda still. But I can still clear the dungeon, and we see Telethar go for it. He doesn't have a sword. This blind fight is not going to be great.
Who are you looking at, Jem? This is Telethar. He has the most swordless experience, I think, in every single one of the Survivors teams.
Okay,
he'll be
right.
fine, okay? he'll be fine.
He's actually, we see that he's farming the stun price a bit to get hearts. Like even if you're confident in your swordless blind script, it's pretty easy to go off the rails, and just having the extra health is certainly going to be helpful for you.
Imagine having rails in blinds fight. I think that actually might help. But yes, I understand what you mean. It is, yes. You know, sometimes scripts, you know, while everyone says, yeah, you know, every blind script is, every fight, you know, blind fight is scripted, right? Sometimes the script doesn't have to be easy. Cool. You know, one also is pretty easy to do is to, you know, die here in the attic.
Yeah, this was actually really weird. So the cricket was up against like the right edge of the screen. And like normally, and that's what Telethar tried to do. Like normally you can just like walk into the transition and you don't get hit. But unfortunately, he did get hit for some reason.
Yeah, sometimes these things are. I don't know if like the size of the sprite matters, or sometimes like the hitbox is just kind of, I don't know. Yeah. There are things that even after so long we still don't understand. You know, sometimes, you know, why things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just unlucky. Just blame it on bad luck.
Exactly. Yeah. That's perfectly acceptable to me. Yeah. So Specks, also kind of following a little bit later, you know, to Dark World. You know, as you mentioned, the kind of last locating, you know, their Moon Pearl, which is also very understandable in Agina for both of them, pretty much, except for Zora, as I heard mentioned before. You know, and just basically send him to Dark World just a little bit later. We're going to do the front four of these. Going to see in this case if Specks going to give a little bit of divergence. He was going to leave after the front four. Kind of looking at his health level, though, I don't know. Like, I think, you know, you kind of saw that Telethar was thinking about it a little bit too earlier. You know, it's like, do I want to death warp out here? Because it, you know, it can still take a long time. It looks like Specks is going to do that. So
yeah, not having the small key is actually like a nice excuse to just leave for now and not having to deal with the swordless fight. It's definitely doable, but it's, you know, it's easy, relatively easy to die, even on 8 hearts.
Mm-hmm. It's a very, very fair point. Yeah, I definitely agree. All right, so we're gonna see in this case. Telethar must have done blind without a sword, right? On this before.
You just said he's the swordless guy on the team.
Yes, that's right. He's the swordless guy. Okay, yeah. First 2 phases went very well. Thank you, Health. Yeah, very, very, very well managed.
Nice job.
Mm-hmm. Okay, rewarded with a perk container. Yes, and a pendant Thief's Town gem. I believe memes tell me that there were supposed to be boots in this dungeon.
Yep. Once we find the small key, we have to rush back to the big chest.
You know how awful that would be. Let's not think about these terrible scenarios here. All right, but you're absolutely correct. Like that's a very valid, as you mentioned, like for Specks to skip the back of Thief's Town without the small key. I mean, I know that some people also just don't go to the back. Period. Like until the small key shows up, we don't go to the back. Type of thing because, only as you mentioned, like the addict's chest is in logic and everything else isn't, right? Just because of, you could spend your key either on accident or intentionally wait inefficiently. So game doesn't want you necessarily soft lock. And yeah, and that could actually be one of the Specks outs, versus Telethar later on. So the skips that you make are only good until you have to go back to them.
Exactly.
So just remember, if you want to do well in rando, only skip the things that you don't need.
I always try to do that, but for some reason I keep failing.
Have you considered trying harder?
Trying harder, okay.
Yes.
I'll note that one down. The post-it.
Okay.
Telethar actually skipped hammer packs here. It's understandable, like you don't want to do it without boots and sword, but like it could have been something good, right? But Specks already checked it and there was something there.
Yeah, and we already got the Thief's Town compass, so we don't need any more compasses anymore. So every other compass, bumper ledge, hammer pegs, we ain't picking any of those up. Yeah, no mirror, unfortunately. Unfortunately, like we need basically all the items. The answer is, do we need that item? The answer is yes. Okay, so we'd really rather have that mirror early. The fact that we have myths, and for some reason still like the mirrorless smith chain again is on the menu. It's not a good menu, I don't know. People seem to like eventually just get bottlenecked into that thing.
Surely they wouldn't have a mirror again, right? Like, not today.
Yes.
How do you feel about God on bow, lamp, hammer, and 3 small keys now? All of a sudden?
Yeah, looks certainly pretty tempting. I mean, they have enough health, certainly, both of them. That being said, like, you would never probably turn down a lamp, to sequence break any rooms. Especially in this case, if you want to go to the back. Actually, okay, so jump on 3 keys, and that if you do all dungeons, like, would you actually go beat the boss like now, or you try basically to wait out for another pod key and try to get more stuff in the back?
So I don't have the big key, so they can't beat the boss. But if I assume they would just beat the boss if they had the big key, because you can get like every chest except for the 2 bad ones, like the ones that are 6 key locked and just a single check. And Hammer is essentially that, but like you also need his dungeon price. So you would just prioritize that, and also we found a sword. Very nice.
We certainly have found a sword, and this is actually one of the locations. The Specks is going to just delay, but it's okay. While Telethar will have a sword for the overworld, we know that Telethar's a swordless guy, so I really don't know why he's picking up, like, not until Ganon, This is literally a sword on the pyramid. When he drops into,
sure.
Like, after GT and Aga, like, you could just go get it then,
Yeah, you actually make a great point. If Telethar feels more comfortable without the sword, he should just delay it until he drops. He goes fight Ganon,
Yeah, but don't worry about Specks though. Just missing out on that sword. There will always be something good here in Pod. As you mentioned, we have 3 small keys. Pod is known for having blank to this dungeon item text boxes, right? Big key to this dungeon? Oh, okay. Well,
it
was close.
Not
Just
yet.
close. You're right. Not yet. But we have the small key to this dungeon. We've got the bow to this dungeon. We've got hammer to this dungeon, right? I mean, we got lots of things here in Pod. Yeah, but actually supposed to be, you mentioned like with the bow and the hammer, we can actually have some pretty nice access to the back. We don't have to mimic clip, we don't have a bottle to potion camera unlock anything for the bow lock side, but we go through the bow lock side with the bow, and we can actually jump down to the back with a hammer.
Yeah,
you need a hammer to go back down there.
I did learn that recently. Yes.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you make a great point. Imagine actually having a bow to do Bullock side. That's a novelty. I wonder if Telethar... Oh, he's actually going for a big key chest. Interesting.
You think this...
So...
Did he have some sort of save skill going on, or are you just like just gonna spend his key? Okay.
Yeah, he's just spending this. He assumes he will not get the big key in this dungeon, essentially.
Ooh.
And we get Quake. That could be relevant.
Yeah, this is a very interesting medallion. I mean, well, all medallions are very interesting when they're 6 key locked. We don't have any eyes, certainly, on like the Maya or the Turtle Rock medallion. Certainly would be, you know, quite eyebrow worthy. Because, you know, that, as you mentioned, that is 6 pod key locked, so they're gonna have to show up somewhere if we're actually gonna need them, if that medallion is necessary.
Yep. Specks actually deciding to death warp out of the right side. It makes sense because he hasn't checked the bridge chest yet. So if he jumps down, he would have to bomb shop over, but the bomb shop is like super awkward to set up if you don't have a sword. And obviously he can't bonk because he doesn't have the boots.
Right. Smokey, okay, alright. Smokey to GT, you know, it's also a dungeon, don't worry. Alright, yeah, but it looks like Telethar, he is going to, like, he shouldn't try and preemptively try and get hit with the spikes. He's gonna be probably the faster way in order to try and, yeah, travel around to you know, to try and manipulate pot. That is actually an extremely creative usage for Quake.
Yeah, very heads up to stun these. It's a pain to deal with though. Like you don't have a hookshot to easily stun them, so just using the Quake. Very heads up play.
Yeah, it's only 4 seconds too, right, for a cast? It's actually super nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you had a hookshot, like you'd probably spend like 4 seconds stunning all of them individually anyway. So.
Yeah.
Just using Quake here, pretty good, pretty smart.
This is actually pretty nice. The fact that we have another GT small key that's also locked by 6 pod keys. Yeah, so between Specks and Telethar, we're actually getting a lot of good coverage because Telethar gave us a check to the key chest, and Specks gave us a check to Harmless Hellway. So actually, between the two, we are going to be able to get all eyes on everything that we can have access to, basically pod, you know, minus like the boss and like the big chest.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, it's Telethar got the potentially better price out of the chest he chose to check. GT small keys are generally not useful until they are.
Yeah.
But you really only need 2 to check everything in GT, so you can skip 2 of them. So as long as Telethar finds 1 more, since he already found the one here in Port Bridge chest, he will be fine no matter what.
Yeah. But what we'll end up seeing here, because like the value of Quake, while Telethar had certainly used Quake very well in order to kind of stun the beetles in the arena. We don't actually know in this case if Quake is actually going to be like, you know, hard required, right? Either for Maya or Turtle Rock. Now there's a good chance, certainly, because there are 2 dungeons out there and there are only 3 medallions. So, but like right now though, like yeah, we're not something to know in this case, like how valuable that Quake medallion is. It just has a lot of potential to be good.
Yeah, for sure. It has more potential, I'd say, than the one GT small key, at least.
Okay, and then now we're gonna see in this case, like all 3 GT small keys are just like completely buried somewhere, or the other 2.
Yeah.
Okay, Telethor's also gonna die as on his way to go check Lumberjack. It's fine. Okay, mystery small key. Okay. Okay,
this is always interesting. If this is a required small key to beat crystal dungeons by logic, you can make assumptions on where your CT small keys can't be. Because this is all dungeons, so we do need to beat Dagger Tower. And if you end up with all the small keys for pendant dungeons and you're still missing small keys for crystal dungeons by the time you open up GT, and you're still looking for your last CT small key, you might be able to infer that your CT small key can't be in GT, and then you can just, you know, not look there and save a ton of time.
Yeah, no, that's so powerful to be able to be able to skip like all of GT basement. It's okay, so you know, I mean, GT mode, as people have called it affectionately, is, you know, very powerful. Certainly because there's 22 checks in the basement, right? That you can go basically look for stuff. So it's actually, you know, for the amount of time you spend, is actually quite good. However, though, that being said, though, it's still like, I don't know, 4 minutes or something of your, or or longer, right? In order to get those. So if you can go skip that, is a gigantic amount of time. You can basically just save. If you know that you don't have to basically traverse that. We're actually getting a very early Spike Cave check on Specks' side. You don't usually see this. Yep. It is a 50 rupee cave's worth of farm. This is the new 50 rupee cave. It's extremely more painful in order to go into. I do not recommend this. I think you should just go into like the one near the dam, a little less painful.
Yeah, Specks also hasn't done. Wait, why did Telethar just save him? Did he not have enough health?
No, I think he only had like 3 hearts or something, and I don't think he was okay to.
Yeah, no for magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like fine in Telethar's eyes because this cape isn't actually in logic yet because it was 4 potkey locked in the back, and he only has 3 right now. Obviously, and like the other in logic checks, that could be the 4th pot smoky, which would put it in logic, but. At least he knows it's not his like intended next progression.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. And Specks is also, by the way, speaking of actually being here in Castle Tower with the cape, right? Yes, we need 2 swords logically also, or the cape to get in. Specks is so close to that. It's the first sword. It's just it's a one inverted mirror transition away. Were we not supposed to mention inverted, by the way, on this?
No, inverted is off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you're right. That's a Ninjembro and Mike's job to worry about.
That is.
Did you know that was a hook shot in Dark Cross?
And Specks, Specks decided to just chase the out of logic cape instead of going for the in logic Dark Cross.
I was actually wondering if he was willing to like death warp out of Dark Cross, or not Dark Cross, the second chest of Castle Tower, so he'll be kind of like outside and then he can go back into the castle. I don't know if that's also a thing.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Telethar was preparing to do the reverse of that. He was setting up the death warp in Dark Cross, but then when he got the hook shot, he just decided to go ahead and go to East of Mountain.
Yeah, and this is certainly like looking at the density of checks, right? The mountain has a ton of stuff. He's got Paradox, top and bottom. He's got Spiral Cave. He's got Dark Death Mountain. He does have the ability to go over to Hera if he chooses. But without the mirror, it's a little bit awkward. I don't know how he wants to do this, but I mean, like the point is that there's just a lot of stuff. Even if you maybe spend a little bit extra time versus like the front of escape, right? Which is 1 in logic check, 2 out of logic checks that is extremely slow without the boots, etc.
Yeah, I assume we'll see a Hera check here on Telethar side. He has the big key, so everything is in logic. So there's not really a reason to delay it unless you know exactly where the boots are because you're playing spoiler, which I hope these guys aren't.
Did they ban spoiler? They might have banned spoiler for this round, which I might be a little sad about. But I also think it's understandable. They don't want to do spoiler. It's fine. I also, so the more another reason why I think Telethar is this Bombos, by the way, on Floating Island. Yeah, another reason why Telethar is like the swordless guy is so between the options of banning open and swordless, do you know which one always gets banned for some reason? It's open. It's not swordless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think
about that.
For Telethar is the boomerang does love for swordless.
Swordless. That's exactly right. Yes. One consistent thing, for what it's worth, though, on Specks' like the 4 gamers team. So Pichu played swordless in her game's last round, and she's also playing swordless versus Humbug this round. So she is definitely a very, very high contender in order to do well for swordless. And she's also gone on record saying that she likes swordless too. So quite fortunate,
Crazy people all around.
There's a nice hair pot upstairs, or going upstairs.
Yeah, this Telethar is somebody that always just does the bomb setup for this, and it's definitely a lot easier and more consistent than the Oak Speed version.
Yeah, I think
Telethar feels bad about not doing Spike Cave because he just put his cape in logic.
He has the opportunity to go back, again, right? So this is part of the, like the awkwardness of not having a mirror, to some extent also not having really like like boots, as you mentioned. But you want to do all these things kind of like in Dark World and Light World, right? But the fact that he's here in Hera, right? He can't, like, because once you go to Dark World without the mirror, you can't go back. So you have to walk all the way over here to Hera, right? And then you have to walk all the way over back to go into the Dark World entry, for Dark Death Mountain. We got a second pendant. What do you think our third prize is going to be, Jem? The other pendant? Are we going to pull head?
Surely you're right.
You
always gotta pull pad for the music anyway, as long as your MSU has pad music.
That's true. That's true.
Post pad light music.
I'm also thinking, this is canon. All right, we have to get all 3 pendants, so we can go pull the pedestal and then we can do all the crystals. Yeah, that's what the game intended you to do, right?
Yes, true. Surely this is a very I see that intends you to do that. That's
it is all dungeons.
Do that after all.
The vanilla playthrough is also an all dungeon scene, although I will say that sometimes, the longer people go without, let's say, some of the basic items that you get, let's say in the first like 15 minutes of the game, they might be a little bit more antsy. For example, we do have a sword that we get, I think, the first like 30 seconds, right? Because we go, kind of hobble over to our uncle, as his parting gift. I think we can maybe do without the sword, without the shield. That's probably acceptable to skip out on. But like think about the other things, right? Like the boots. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those would be nice, right?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Yeah, the script I think went slightly. Unfortunately, Blind decided to improv a little too well. And I don't actually, it looks like he was kind of ran out of, he doesn't have enough magic to use the cape either, so.
Yeah, the issue with the cape when you don't have a sword is too that you can't actually damage blind, so it doesn't do that much for you.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, this actually, and normally I don't know if people had preferences between like Burna and Cape as invisibility items. Certainly, probably more polarized before that, for Fast Realm, because Burna generated a lot of sprites, that did look very sparkly, but unfortunately, slowed down the game quite a bit. And now, because of Fast Realm, like the lag kind of isn't there. So, Burna actually is kind of like a nice, it's actually a nice item to use, because not only, as you mentioned, right, if you use the cape, you don't really have a way to damage blind, but if you use Burna, like the sparklies actually do, they actually do damage.
Yep. Yeah, Specks. Yeah, we see Specks going for some desperate matches now, checking mirrorless Smith. Generally not something you want to do, but yeah, with his skip of Dark Cross, he is running out of locations at this point.
Yeah, and I don't think that dying to blind is necessarily like a morale boost per se. I mean, but if second key to Castle Tower. Okay, well that's certainly necessary. I don't think that he. Well, I think we saw Telethar. Okay, Telethar needs to. Everything's fine.
Yep.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, this key doesn't actually do anything for him since he already went into Castle Tower to get us the 2 checks there, and he doesn't have the boots to actually get the lumberjack item. So.
Right. Yeah. That's a very excellent point. Yeah, but yeah, I will say, like, but for what it's worth. Going back to blind is actually, especially if you can come back with better equipment, it's actually pretty cheap, right? Because you're really just gonna go and, just basically do like walk through like the front 4 again, and then just basically go straight to the boss. There's just like one hallway. Specks is. Do you know something's wrong with this like Insilla variable?
Yeah, he needs to reset it. He shot too many arrows at some point, so it's messed up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Can he? I was gonna say, I think you could just like spam the lamp or something, maybe.
Oh, he does have magic.
Right. That was the unfortunate flaw with that plan. I thought you can like spam your lamp for, I don't know, like a lot of shots or something, or but
yeah, the easiest thing you can do is you just spam bombs over the water. Basically, you drop 2 bombs in the water and then you try to place a 3rd one while the splash is up, and then that fixes your Ancilla. But I guess at this point pretty low on bombs. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to do it.
Okay. I think it's understandable. Okay, so Specks is finally going to... that bridge, by the way, is really dangerous. Boots, well, he's still swordless, but that boomerang is really, paying dividends. I think that, he has maybe wondering a little bit, especially, versus Telethar with the blue boomeranger. He's like, what's this boomeranger, they're all cracked up to be? How useful is this boomerang? It's actually, it's pretty good,
Okay, so Telethar found the second Turtle Rock Small while he explored that mountain, so he's going back into TR because he can now get all the way to Laser Bridge if he steals the Poke 2 key. Since he has the big key already from Uncle, so he can go far.
Oh yeah, that's also very true. He has a big key from Uncle. Okay, is that Hera key? Anyway, we have the TRP key.
Maybe it was somewhere else already in that vault.
No, it's all good. I mean, the point is we have it, and you're absolutely right. And I think this is actually something that one of Telethar's previous matches, I think also, like, he ordered Dark Death Mountain and TR, like, a different way or something, and he ended up not killing the Poke 1 key because his equipment was pretty terrible. Probably not much better than what he has now. And so, I think, what did he do? I think he just went over, like, straight to Crystal Roller or something, and then he couldn't get to Laser Bridge, and then Laser Bridge had his mirror or something, so I don't know. He might be thinking about this more.
Yeah, I think he last located, like, he knew his progression was either in the big chest or in Crystal Roller, so he just went there straight. And then he did find the flute there, and then he set up a, like, save scam to check the big key chest. Which didn't have anything, and his opponent just stole the key on the way to Crystal Roller and then went on to Laser Bridge to find his mirror there.
Yeah. Sometimes rando be the way it randos. You can't control, like, the items or the logic placement because that was a pretty terrible sequence.
By the way, speaking going back for Darkfrost, so he's gonna get a soak shot here, finally be able to progress.
Yeah, and also I was gonna say, speaking of terrible sequences, he also went to Catfish, and Catfish gave him his second Ice Palace Small Key, which he already had one, so I'm not even really sure about the value of the second one, but
Yeah, that is... Even the first one is not really valuable when you already have Kane, so... Yeah, definitely the second one you just really don't care about. But yeah, that's about expected value from Catfish, so nothing surprising there.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you just have to, another unfortunate part, about what Telethar's going through Turtle Rock, you can't dash in the dash room. I mean, it's just ruined. This entire dungeon is just ruined. But you know what's not ruined? The flippers, they're just sitting here, Crystal Roller.
Yep, they're in logic too. This is still in logic with 2 keys. Now we're going out of logic.
So, what do flippers open up for us? Anything? I guess like the water checks. Thank you. That was not the first answer I expected out of you, but you are still technically correct. Okay, the best kind of correct.
The reason this is my first answer is because I am a bootstrap player, and usually waterfalls already checked at this point. So
okay, all right,
okay.
I understand. It's the first checks you think about that you haven't already probably done at this point.
Exactly.
I do understand.
But yeah, we still need a mirror to do Swamp, we still need Bombos or Fire to be able to do Ice, so those aren't unlocked with those flippers, so it's really just Waterfall and Turbo.
Yeah, we actually do get our first bottle out of bottle. Yeah, is that another TR? Another TR? Oh, pot key.
That's the 6th pot key. Yeah,
wow.
It feels like every single AD key seed I've watched and played recently just always has a TR small key on Laser Bridge. This is not being able to kill Trinex. There's like kind of a blessing in disguise because now Telethar can just death warp back to the big chest entrance, and now he can, since he just saved, save scum is just found key and check the big key chest. If it's nothing needed, he can just reset, and he still has everything he found up to this point in TR. And if it's something, then he can save and quit and keep it.
Yeah, it's actually quite nice. Like, one of the things that, you sometimes come up to Turtle Rock and got 3 small keys, a big key, everything you can do to clear it out, right? And then you're just like, oh, I don't know if I can, you know, like, I guess I'm just gonna leave the big key chest, you know, and hope that nothing's there. And then you know, it becomes the last location when something is actually there, you know, and you kind of really regret your, you know, your life choices, game choices when you end up finding the 4th tier small key. However, though, we got nothing in. We got 20 rupees in the big key chest, so we can just go safely beat Trinex with that small key whenever we go find the other ice rod, the actual ice rod, you know, out of the other, whatever, 15 other ice rods we have to go find.
Yep. Yeah.
Look what Telethar is doing, Gem. He is going to Hobo. The first water check is on. That's also on his mind. Is also Hobo.
Yikes.
So he's a Bootstar player. No.
True. He's a fellow Boots enjoyer, so it's okay.
Alright. Okay, we got the now Spike Cave is doubly in logic.
Yeah, super logic. Telethar thinks now it's gotta have something.
Yeah, probably. So Specks, you know, to his credit, certainly did it, you know, early. And it was only 50 rupees, but yeah, like for Telethar right now to go to Spike Cave, especially after he's done Hera without the mirror, like, how many minutes is it up there? 2.5, 3.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, like, okay, yeah, for one check, I mean, yeah, we may not see it on Telethar side. I mean, it gets a little bit better with the mirror, obviously, but, you know, we don't have the mirror right now.
Well, half magic is nice, but not required, so...
We're just letting go of all our... So, okay, this is how you can tell that Telethar is not a swordless guy. He just lets go of his bees, okay? Like, I mean, you know, his fellow teammate Eri in the SGL spoiler qualifier the other day used the bee as his weapon because he didn't have a sword for Mini Moldor. I'm just saying, like, these are your allies, okay? They're only here to help you.
They're there to be used.
Exactly. And for some reason, we had to go pick up the sword, you know, on Pyramid Ledge. Specks is also getting super bullied. Did you know that Deadrocks don't like to bully you?
Yep. That's how I know them. My good friends, not friends, the Deadrocks. Okay, Telethar, why is he dodging this compass? Because we already have the Thief Sun one.
That's exactly. We don't need them anymore. Alright, so Specks is kind of retracing some of Telethar's stuff here in Turtle Rock. He doesn't have anything new, right? That Telethar didn't have when he's up here?
No, he just... Yeah, all he has over Telethar is the CT small from Smiths, and I guess the second ice small from
Catfish, yeah.
Catfish. And he actually also has the first ice small, which I think was in front of Escape.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Telethar was probably aiming to go over there, but...
Yeah, then he got hook shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, although he probably didn't actually care about front of Escape, he just thought about Castle Tower with Escape. Because front of Escape isn't in logic. Until you find the Castle Smoky, and that could just be in GT for, you know, so... True,
yeah, that's true. I did forget about the fact that Spike Cave you can probably just get without going up the mountain for real. I thought for some reason you had to go all the way around, but it's okay. Telethar's back here with his cave and his Burna and has half magic. And it's no hook shot. Oh no, he has a hook shot. Never mind. He'll just go get us 50 rupees and then... What do you think the next item, major-ish item, we're gonna find to try and open these up? You think it's gonna be the mirror? Fire Rod? For Ice Palace? Or like Bombos?
Yeah, it's probably either Ice Palace Access or Swamp Access, so yeah, mirror or Fire Rod / Bombos.
What do you think, Jem, about the book?
Could be the book. True. We
could
go to Desert.
I would be a big fan of the book. We could also maybe go find like the flute and mirror, but that's 2 whole items you have to go find. The book is only 1, you know? That's...
Yeah. I could find the flute and then find the mirror and Maya Shed and then go straight in the desert.
Exactly, yes, awesome. Exactly. I agree.
And yeah, I'm trying to think what's left, and I think Mugo is right. It's just per chest, right? We haven't turned in the green pendant. I think that's still missing.
And Hera was completely in logic, right? Yeah.
We have the big key.
Yeah, we can't get anything else in Eastern. We've already checked. Even the initially out of logic check was the Manila Key Chest. Both of them ended up doing this. Yeah, and Telethar, I assume Specks is going to do something similar in Turtle Rock. It's already checked, at least certainly the front. He may end up going to Laser Bridge. Certainly Crystal Roller would benefit him a lot, because that's what the flippers are. Yeah, Specks is just going to turn on that cape. I think it's a very, very prudent decision.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, despite that Specks is in fact the red Power Ranger, the red Ranger suit does not do anything in terms of safety.
Yeah, apparently the other Rangers are just at least better, more well defended.
Yeah. I hope they do get some sort of upgrade at some point. You know, I am very certainly partial to the color red, but you know, sometimes it would be kind of nice to not be able to basically just have like a chomp, you know, look at you funny, and then you end up just, you know, taking early exit out of Turtle Rock. On the other hand, we still don't have a mirror, so you know, like health could actually just be more of a liability than anything, because it'll just take you, you know, forever. Like
you get a refill in Zelda Cell, and then
I was just is Zelda actually doing this? Oh, okay.
It makes sense. Like
it does. It does.
Castle Tower is actually in logic, and it's 2 whole checks, and he does barely has anything left. But like, it might actually be maybe not faster, but like the same speed to just save him quickly instead of that warping.
All right. Well, good thing. Well, we have the VOD. Okay, so we can actually just go time this. We can see how long he decided to spend in the Hyrule Castle basement. It is the Telethar was on a team, you know, called Nick Hera Basement Cage, right, with Humbug, and you know, maybe he just got tired of Hera, right? He needs to transpose himself into other dungeons, you know, like Hyrule Castle. Same amount of time, you know, within the basement.
So Specks didn't steal the Poke2 key on his way to Crystal. He just got us in logic checks and then save and quit. So he didn't go to Laser Bridge.
Okay.
I don't think there was anything important on Laser Bridge aside from the TR small key. So if he finds the other small key, then it won't really be an issue. If that one doesn't show up, it's gonna be a bit awkward, because you don't really want to go to Laser Bridge without having your third small key to beat the boss.
That is actually a good point. Yeah, in spoiler log sees, either for like solo or, you know, you have a pilot, you know, you're always pretty happy to see, you know, a small key of this dungeon on Laser Bridge, because you know, at least certainly observation bias seems to be kind of more frequent than not. But you know, okay, that's one fewer thing I gotta go worry about, right? You know, we'll just go to Turtle Rock, we'll get the thing on Laser Bridge super fast, and we'll just go beat the dungeon. Yeah, if you're playing without a log, you really want them to show up not in the dungeon, because you don't want to, you know, that going all the way to Laser Bridge is a gigantic time investment. I was gonna say that so Telethar might be turning it. He's gonna go to Sick Kid. It's still out of logic, right? Because we don't have enough access for Laser Bridge. Is that right?
Oh, is that where the bottle was?
Yeah, that's where we ended up finding it.
Okay.
It's just bombs.
Yeah, it sounds like he's probably planning to do Smiths and Hammer Packs here. Probably feeling really bad about not having done Hammer Packs. But Tickers was underway, so you just check it even if it's not.
Yeah. And I gotta give kudos to both, you know, Specks and Telethar for holding out basically for this long, like without going back to the village. You know, kind of like at various points in their journey, because you really kind of want to come back here with, well, most notably the flute, right? I mean, they've both already beaten Thieves Town, so it's not many reasons to go. Or you come back here, you know, with the mirror, right? Then you're like, okay, at least I can do the full Smith chain. You know, I don't have to come back to the village 4 more times, separate times in order to go, you know, turn everything individually in, right? That being said, we're still here without a flute, without a mirror, without boots.
Yep. And I've nothing more than Smith saying. This is like my favorite thing in the game.
Oh. Yes. Oh, yep. That's right. Good correction. For that Allison also mentioned up. That's right. Specks actually has a reason to come back. Yeah, this is because he needs to finish up lines.
With this burning.
That's right. Yes, it is an actual valid. Yeah, but probably this. We'll go. Okay, no. Blind does have a prize, right? So maybe that's some motivation for him to do something. But it's also, again, he doesn't have the small key. So
yeah, so actually,
you know.
But yeah, purple chest definitely is. I'm a bit surprised none of them are turning into green pendant though.
I
Oh,
could be
okay. I kind of understand because he hasn't done hammer plagues, and you feel pretty damn nervous about that, I think.
Yeah, that's probably true too. Yeah. Anytime in these things where you kind of avoided like an early-ish sphere that check that you could have done that you're certainly your opponent most likely, or certainly have more opportunity for you for you to do longer. You go without it. Yeah, maybe like the more nervous you feel. It's kind of like. Sorry, this is not the first thing. This is the first thing I thought of, but for no reason. It's like when you're maybe first year in Kakariko, and you couldn't afford to like Bottle Merchant because you didn't have enough money, and then you just kind of like, when else do we go back there? It's kind of like it may just kind of like be, birding, like a small hole in your memory,
Yeah, exactly.
And you just feel feel a lot of relief once you end up getting a check. It could be just absolutely nothing. That's probably actually the better case, but still again, like the mental toll. The longer that you don't have something checked that you could have had something checked is can be quite heavy.
I understand why Telethar is safe to sink here.
Okay, so
I think he's just walking straight back for a purple chest.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't think we have very much stuff left.
Yeah, no, I think he didn't mean to save it right there. Yeah,
at least he has
walking
yeah. I mean, he's bootsless, fluteless, mirrorless.
Yeah, I'm sure he's like going. He's just like mentally dead right now. He's just like doing things.
Yeah, we're just pushing buttons. But by the way, Specks has successfully taken down blind. So actually, we might be able to see a purple chest turn in for both of them. Relatively synced.
Yeah, that's true. Like saved a bunch of time not going to laser bridge and then the big heat chest in TR. So even though he was kind of late to the hook shot, he made up a bunch of time there. And like the additional stuff that he did ended up being something Telethar had to do, or ended up doing anyway with the Mirrorless Smith. So it worked out kind of well for Specks in the end, despite it at first looking really bad when he skipped the hook shot for so long.
I think that that Sankar really helped give some of that time back from Telethar to Specks. Oh, that was that's a really I mean again these things happen. All right, this is just how part of the game is. All right, what's in here?
Of course, it's this game is.
Were you saying something like 5 minutes ago where it's like I really hope it's not the mirror in purple chest, like the last time. It turns out there's the mirror. We should have just learned from our previous experiences. All right, rush mirrorless purple chest. Remember that for next time. Okay, next time any place to see, just rush purple chest. Okay, doesn't matter if you have mirror or not, just go rush it.
It's like just like the worst thing, like the worst item location in the game. That's just universally true for every type of mode. Mirror on purple chest. Just
yeah, that's true.
Everybody hates
it. Well, like what do you think about like mirror on like either tablet or like hair or something? I don't know. That's also maybe not great. But I think you're right though. Like mirror on purple chest is a very classic. I don't want you to have fun today. Type of message.
Yep.
Boots on Pulse Mortem. Yes, see, Iker. Also very sad.
If that happens, that's your own fault for playing bootsless modes. Like, you only have yourself to blame, honestly.
The boots lining of all dungeons is that potentially you get to climb GT before finishing the game. Just a possibility.
Yeah. That's true. On the other hand, we already have two pendants, so.
Okay. I mean, well, we don't know what our last pendant is right now. It could be, I guess it's not Eastern, so we already know that's a crystal. It could be any of these last remaining touches. We don't have a check for them. I don't even think we've picked up that many maps either, so it's not like I think they're intentionally avoiding a map check or anything like that. Okay.
Yeah, you also just don't really need to map check in all dungeons since you have to just do everything anyway.
Specky, by the way, did his trademark Specky clip in Swamp. Very smoothly, might I add. It's almost as if he, like, invented it. or at least discovered it.
What is this route he's taking? He just got Compass Chest. He's just going to the back.
Yeah, well, so based on what Specks I think has done and or hasn't done and or has lost some time potentially that he thinks to Telethar, let's say with like the blind death and last locating hookshot. I don't know. I mean, he's been playing a bit more aggressively. Like he didn't do K45 initially. That might also just been a routing choice for Telethar, maybe to try not have the hole, because I think Telethar probably thinks that his route so far has been pretty clean, which certainly has been. But Specks may not think that he's in like the best of shape in terms of the race and the race status.
Yeah, that might be why. It's just I don't know. Like I feel like if you kind of skip something, you skip left side, but you probably don't skip the Compass Chest. That one's like close enough.
Okay. I mean, no, we certainly could maybe ask him about what he decides to do, but it does certainly kind of look like that he's trying to maybe cut a corner or two. Intentionally. By the way, though, I'm sure there was no sword in the Compass Chest of Swamp, because there's never any swords in Swamp ever. That's how the memes go.
Yep. We're just fighting on fighters on it.
Yep.
Yeah, the other things. Like I don't really see Specks leaving. Like you don't really have anything left after this, right? The mirror doesn't actually unlock that much. Since we don't have a flute to have it take us to desert, we already have east of mountain access with the hookshot.
I guess we just have a few now.
Checks. Yeah, with Graveyard Edge, he still has K45, and that's about it.
Well, we finally get our first crystal on the board. That is going to be at least like one for Specks, soon to be two. At least soon to be one for Telethar. Given that Telethar has just done left side swamp for 10 arrows and 20 rupees. Is the only thing left is Compass Chest? Is that the only thing left in this dungeon that we haven't seen?
Yeah, it's the only thing.
Okay. I mean, if there's nothing here, Specks has made a very aggressive, but also it's going to be very valuable skip. Basically not doing any of these checks here in Swamp.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what progression is done. Like it's not in K45. We've already seen that. So like Graveyard Edge or Compass Chest right now.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Is it
Albus?
Yeah. Sorry if I don't know how to pronounce your name, but yes, that's a very, very good reminder. There is Bombos on floating islands.
Yeah, okay. I forgot about that. Yeah, so that might be, well, okay, I was just gonna say it might be part of why Specks made these skips, because he's just planning to go to Ice Palace, but he's not going to floating island.
We can get we get a fire rod here and green pendant turn in. We can go back to pod. We got the big key to pod in swamp entrance chest.
Oh yeah, right. We saw it from there. Okay, my bad.
And then what else is right? So Specks has between certainly Telethar and Specks, we haven't seen the big chest, we haven't seen Helma, but I think we've seen anything else. Specks himself has not seen the vanilla big key chest, so I think he's just going to be able to get all that. And then we are going to be able to turn in the green pendant alongside. So this will be pretty nice for Specks. He's going to be able to get a dungeon prize turn in, and it's going to be another dungeon down on his belt. Okay, all right. Telethar. This isn't quite the Master Sword fight, but he's certainly doing quite a good job with Fighter Sword.
Yep, missed the triple there, unfortunately. We'll see. Yeah, he's not gonna make the one cycle. That was a good start, at least. Argus is
he's really rushing, to be close to Telethar. It's like paparazzi. Happiest of fights.
Maybe not the happiest with a 3 cycle. He actually could have saved the 2 cycle there if he had just hooked the path and then menu swap to hammer to kill it quickly. I think he would have had enough time.
Speaking of hammer, yeah, we don't really have anything else. I am certainly a big fan of using the bow. However, 4 hammer shots might be actually our quickest way to dispose of Argus phase 2. Again, you know, in Swordless, maybe there would have been more motivation, you know, to be a bit more creative with your, you know, with how to first Argus if you come here without the hammer. However, I guess we're not in that situation, so we can maybe we'll try and, you know, wait for another day for that.
So, Telethar was thinking about, do I go to port or do I go get my bombos? And then he picked the in-between choice on his save equip menu, and that is not where I want to be.
All right. Well, then where are we going here? We're going up to...
we cast the tower on the way to port, I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, that makes... He has already been in Castle Tower, right? He already has the items. I don't know if this makes sense, because he doesn't have the boots yet. It's like...
okay. Well, he can get 2 checks with his logic, but he did the Smith Chain, right? So that he has both keys?
Yeah, he can beat it, but he already got the chests inside of Castle Tower.
I see what you mean. I see.
So it's just to clear DT, which... I don't know, I don't think it saves enough time on the way to port that you should do this without boots.
Maybe
might also be thinking ahead. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that too, yeah.
Oh no, speaking of Specs, it's gonna use the bow. Yeah, just rapid fire, helmet down. Very, very understandable. Telethar also, you know, again, it's like, oh yeah, I've already been here before, I don't need the second chest. Alright, what is on Helma? That is still technically out of logic for us. Hey, look, it's our 3rd pendant.
Nice, we can pull pedestal, let's go.
We can pull pedestal. Where's our fire rod?
So notably, Specks is missing one of the pot small keys that Telethar found on Death Mountain. I'm not quite sure which one. Was it maybe like Spiral Cave or something? Maybe he skipped that. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, yeah.
But let's go Spiral, yeah. Okay, thank you, IQ. So he was able to get the Quake out of the key chest while he was in port, which, if that is Meyer, would be very, very bad for Specs at this point, because it was his opportunity to get it.
Oh yeah. That's actually a really good point.
Oh yeah,
I guess we're gonna.
Chest too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I guess we're gonna. So yeah, Specs definitely seems to be pretty aggressive right now in terms of. I mean, but right now, like he hasn't. You know, again, the skips that you make only burn you if there is something important in there. You know, we kind of mentioned. Yeah, you mentioned before, like Quake could be needed. He does have other opportunities to go back, though. Like, you know, there are 2. Okay, there's one pot small key here in Spiral Cave, but we said there's a 6th one out there, right? And it is a pendant. Maybe makes me worry a little bit more because because it could actually just be maybe in GT depending on the circumstances. But you know, like he does have an opportunity to go back to Vicky Chest if he needs to.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a very late location for him, though.
Yeah, no, that's certainly very true.
Pretty costly.
All right, but yeah, we're gonna pick up bombos. You know, if you believe in the rule of fire, then we're going straight to Ice Palace. Specs has both the big key and 2 small keys, and we're just gonna go beat Ice. This is great. We have bombos as our fire source. That half magic is, I guess, it'll be good for the cape.
Yep, we can use that.
Yeah.
That's what we have it for. Was that 0 blue balls?
I don't know, actually.
Was there one?
It feels like that because it was actually a pretty fast fight, and the only way that you can make that fight faster is if you don't have any blue balls or have very few blue balls. That's okay, and I will agree to you that a very good reason to not do Castle Tower, you know, without the boots is you can't do Aga Hall of Fame, you know, hook speed. We can't even get a picture.
Yeah, true. That's another great one. Yeah. Definitely a bad decision by Telethar. But it's worth it. Like, just doing an Aga Tower also gives you some time to think. just plan out your route.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's completely valid, right? And well, sometimes like, there's like the coffee break meme, for sitting through Hair Basement, but I think it's also just a very valid thing to be able to consider. Maybe like you don't know what to do between your 5 things, and maybe an extra like 5 to 10 seconds, just have some thinking time could really make or break, like the future, of your race. See, okay, everything's fine for Specks. Okay, we just got the 4th Turtle Rock key in.
Yeah, the last tier rock key is on Laser Bridge, which Telethar already got, but Specks wouldn't really be tempted to go back for that anytime soon, unless he already had the 3 keys.
Yeah, and like when Specks gets his 4th TR key on Laser Bridge, assuming he does go to Laser Bridge, like we're not in go mode yet, I don't really see him going back to the big key chest. Maybe he'll like feel like how much stuff he skipped up till that point it was enough, and maybe he will go back. But I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean it's good for him. There's nothing in the big key chest, so
yeah. I mean, right, like so far all the stuff that Specks has skipped so far, has not burned him yet. So we do have a small key to Thieves Town. That's always a really terrible key to find right now.
Did we say earlier that's our boots in a big chest?
Yes, that's true. If you believe in the Pendant Thieves Town meme, which I do believe, but I also don't want to believe in this one because that would mean that we've both skipped boots on Telethar and Specks aside.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, here's the big chest. That's nothing. That's good Specks.
Yeah, just a compass to Eastern. I'm reading all these compasses. We also, by the way, I saw Telethar did a map check on his side. Yeah, Iker actually very nicely marking down the rest of, specifically the 5-6 crystals. So we have Ice Palace and Turtle Rock. So that could be something. I mean, we're still pretty far, honestly. Like from, I mean, we're gonna finish Ice Palace now, but from Turtle Rock, like we don't have either rod. We're still like
those basically.
Yes.
Yeah, but we didn't find a flute. This is gonna give us knowledge about the state of the race very soon, because Specks will check what medallion is needed for Mile. And we'll see if he's in trouble or if he's fine.
Yeah. Well, we've already crossed, right?
Yeah, because Quake is in the big key chest of Pod, for those who weren't around.
Yeah. I mean, he's already crossed one hurdle, which is Turtle Rock, because we have Ether for that, pretty early. So, if we can cross one hurdle, we can cross another hurdle, right? That's how rando works? Maybe.
Surely.
Alright, let's see this great Bombos only hammer, fire rod, not fire rod. Wish we had the fire rod. Oh no. Okay, Specks, please be careful. We have no bottle so far. Not that we found the bug net either, but as you did mention before, we do have the cape, but it's really just for like defense and safety, because right, so the fighter sword doesn't do anything against the puffs, so you really kind of have to use the hammer. I guess you can spin, right? Can you spin?
You can spin. But he was caped. Did he? Oh no. He might have.
Did he deactivate cape?
They might have panic meshed Y to cape and then immediately decaped when he caped. That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate because like Specks, while he didn't have a great start to the fight, like all the puffs dispersed basically immediately before he can either get basically even like a single hammer shot in together for them. However, though, I think this is actually good. This is a very good pragmatic decision. His equipment to fight Colster sucks. I mean, don't let like the 14 hearts or whatever like fool you. Like fighter sword bombos only is awful. So
yeah, I mean he has 14 hearts, but one hit is 4 hearts. So
yeah, exactly.
Like he still dies in 4 hits.
Yeah, and you actually saw there are 3 of them, and the icicles rushing at you, right? Like I mean, you can take I don't know, like three hits, maybe like 3.5, but they go away. They happen pretty quickly, and the fact that we have Mire access now, surely we're going to go find boots or something, right? a sword I would be great, you know.
Yeah, there's surely gonna be some nice progression in Maya that makes the Cold Stare fight and the rest of the game a lot more pleasant.
Playable. Any
Playable
version of
even,
playable,
yes.
I'm a fan of. Yes. Omega playable, just regular playable, speed playable. You know, any of those would be great.
Okay, what's the medallion?
Okay,
it's
all
Ether.
right. It is Ether,
Okay.
yeah. So Specks is safe, you know, from Pod.
Okay, so he's definitely still in the race. He has to go back to Cold Stare, but he's like a good chunk of progression, or like not progression, but like good chunk of game ahead of Telethar right now. Telethar still has to do all of Ice before he can go to the Maya area. And Specks just needs to spend like 2.5 minutes to go back to Cold Stare.
Yeah, and you can actually see basically like the amount of time that you end up saving, right? Or that you're risking, or you know, if you end up basically skipping out of half the dungeon, right? Because Telethar, you know, probably compared to Specks especially, was actually just very thorough, right? He did all of Lust Ice Swamp, certainly without boots. He did like Pod Big Chest, right? And then he also went back to Helm. All these things take up like a significant amount of time, right?
Yeah.
And you know, despite, you know, basically Specks having to go back to Ice Palace, as you mentioned, and you know, like, but he already did basically the entirety of Ice Palace exploration.
Yeah, although it looks like Specks is a lot more ahead than he really is, because Telethar's already done Naga Tower. So it's probably like pretty even, with maybe like a slight advantage of Telethar right now.
I kind of want to say though that Specks is gonna save is probably I don't know for sure, right? But it's probably gonna save time over Telethar's climb. It's not that Telethar's climb was slow or bad or anything. It's just that most likely, you know, we're gonna go back with better equipment. You know, the best case scenario obviously is gonna be boost, but even like another sword is gonna save time. Hey, look, another sword, just like that. I heard even that, you know, Fighter's Sword Aga Tower could be a mistake. Oh my god, dude, it was just.
There's a fire.
We were so close. It was one more check before Bolamos was like probably the actually best fight that you could actually do for this dungeon. We were so close. Oh, okay. Fire Rod, half magic. I guess we're gonna actually get a faster Lamos fight.
It's okay. I'm sure Telethar will do Lamos first and fight them with the bow.
So close. Yeah, the bright side is so far away, you know? Right?
It is.
We'll see what, you know, Telethar decides to end up doing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to do Desert Front first, because, you know, you don't really have a super fast way of killing Namos, and there's like lots of options that could speed it up.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, especially, you know, we're like an hour and 20 in. The fact that we basically did not find a Fire Rod until like 1 minute ago is, or like, it really anything, you know, no Master Sword, no Ice Rod even, like nothing, outside the hammer, we had nothing basically do like more than just like, basically Fighter Sword damage, you know. We had the bow, right? But it's just like, there was just like very little in terms of offense that we had.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe this is also another reason why we may have wanted to delay Mire and do Desert first? You mentioned this next week we'd actually do Desert.
Yeah, we definitely... Yeah. I mean, the Witcher's fight right now is terrible, right? Or like, at least on Telethar's side. It's a little bit better with the Master Sword now on Spec's side. But yeah, you don't really want to fight Witchers like this. Spec's even deciding to do Moth first here, to try and get maybe like even better equipment and Tempered Sword or Silver Arrows before he fights Witchers.
We can also go pull Pedestal. We actually have all 3 pendants. Yeah, outside of the, what was the pesky Dungeon Swamp, I think was the pesky crystal. We could have just had all 3 pendants, you know. In order.
Yeah, that would have been nice. A nice nod to Vanilla. Okay, so Telethar Cold Stare fight is coming up soon. He does have a bottle, but I don't think there's anything in it.
No, there's nothing in it. He didn't have a bug net, and we tried to replace his good bee that he got off of Laser Bridge with the whatever the waterfall prize was, and it was also a good bee. So, yeah, and he let go of him immediately.
Yeah, so Telethar in a pretty much the same situation as Specks was. We'll see if he survives this fight or not.
Mm-hmm. What happened to Specks, unfortunately? I mean, it also just seemed like kind of like everything just came at him all at once, and he was just caught, I think, in a very bad situation. Yeah, but now he's armed with the fire rod. I certainly have a lot more confidence in Specks' ability to finish up Colster, you know, given the fact that we have half magic fire rod. Telethar also having a pretty good start. Being able to at least get a couple hammer hits in before they dispersed.
Yeah, this is a really nice fight. He's getting lots of hits in. Also making a great choice in getting hit by the icicles instead of the pot, which only deal 2 hearts instead of 4.
Yeah, this is a very excellent usage. Yeah, great usage of the hammer both on Telethar's side and Specks' side to be able to basically take down the bosses.
Yeah, this was also blazing fast for the equipment he had. Like, just hammer, you only have a fighter sword spin, you don't have like the poke dashes to put them together in the corner. Like, it was just a very, very good Colster fight.
You said dash. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, yes. Dashing would be nice, wouldn't it?
Okay. It's okay. Sprint shoes on pedestal. Wait, what?
This is why you blind pull. This is why you blind pull.
Hilarious. Oh, hilarious. I guess it's maybe like Specks, right, as a better copy of your S, right? And then like the S is probably a shield and you just like left. I was like, no. It's actually a sword. I need that. You said vanilla? You said vanilla swords? It's not vanilla swords, but I was actually kind of hoping at that point it was gonna be sprint shoes, but you know.
Yeah. Any of the locations could be the shoes, right?
Nice. Yeah. Alright, well, Specks is going back to Ice Palace immediately. Yeah, I'm certainly very, very understandable. But yeah, so, I mean, after this, Telethar's gonna go into Desert. Probably go clear Landmo. Or, like, the entirety of the dungeon he does with the Desert Palace Small Key. And then I think in the meanwhile, Specks is gonna be able to basically take revenge on Cold Stare. And then, yeah, and as you mentioned before, Telethar does have an Aga Tower clear over Specks. But like, where would you go? Like, what's the new? And then we're going to Meyer, I guess.
Yeah, the next thing is Meyer. That's the next dungeon we can clear, and surely that'll have the ice rod, and then we just need Eastern big and GT big for gold, right?
Ooh, GT big. I did forget about that big key. Okay, right. So Eastern Palace is a crystal, so that means it can't be in GT. But I guess GT big can always be in GT, huh?
Yeah.
I hope everyone has been keeping track of how many items we've collected throughout the game, because if we play GT Big Key guessing game and we haven't found the GT Big Key yet, probably expecting like, you know, hundreds of something.
So we have I guess it's not really relevant anymore, but we did see a small key on Lumberjack Ledge.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. You think it's Hera?
Yeah, it could be Hera, it could be a GT small key. I think that's it, right? Do we have everything else?
Have all of our Moth ones. Yeah, we have all our Meyer ones, apparently. We have 3 small keys to Meyer already. Desert, Pod. Yeah. Yeah, Hyrule Castle small key? Looks like that one's still missing.
Oh yeah, true.
Okay, Telethar.
Yeah.
Left. Your other left. Oh, so disappointed. It's okay. This is very normal to check. He'll get his Master Sword. He'll get his, you know... I wish I had this for Ice Palace package. But he did very... But like I said, you know, he did a very good job, you know, taking down Colster, so...
Yeah. Bex took sweet revenge on Colster just now. Very quick fight.
So the best case scenario. Okay, well, okay, we're going into Mire. We do have all 3 small keys. Would you do the vanilla big key chest? One in general, would you do it at this point? And then 2, like, do you think Specks might skip it? Because, you know, again, Specks has been pretty aggressive, right? He's skipped a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I expect Specks to skip it, considering how aggressive he has been, and Telethar to check it, considering he has done everything. Hasn't skipped a thing, so those are my expectations. Kind of depends what you find too, right? Like, I could see Telethar skip it if he finds... We still need 2 things for GT mode. Ice Rod and Eastern Big Key.
Oh yeah, I guess we
You can't really find...
We know it's a crystal. Mm-hmm.
You don't really find 2 things before you go to left side, since you go to left side first. That's kind of the awkward thing in Kisanity with the Big Key chest. You have to make the decision at the start of the dungeon. Are you seeing the fight on the left?
Of course I am. How could I miss this fight? Good job, Telethar. Actually, really good fight.
Yeah,
that was a really good, like, early 3 cycle. Really nice.
Yeah, nice job.
What a gamer. Excuse me, you misspelled gamer, Tyler? Did either of them check checkerboard? Maybe I just missed it. Do you remember?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the root does it
Yeah.
first, so it makes sense that Telethar yet. But yeah, I assume both of them will do it after.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's certainly very understandable. Yeah, Iker also confirming that we haven't done checkerboard. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of, like, the remaining locations between Specks and Telethar that they haven't checked yet, because, like, Telethar, or not Specks already went to Catfish. Mushroom, good reminder. We did pick that up a long time ago.
So Specks is actually completely skipping the left side. He didn't even do Compass Chest.
He did do lobby chest for what it's worth. I mean, that's not necessarily like a short check, but it is certainly shorter than, yeah, as you mentioned, like all of left side. Even part of left side.
Yeah, it might be... He might plan to do that stuff after he's done with Virtuous. Just get the more on the way checks first.
We don't want to see that. It's okay. We're just gonna pretend that it doesn't exist right now. It's fine. For what it's worth, though, Specks, the fact that he skipped like half the checks in Swamp might give him a better. Oh no! Oh no!
Well, he definitely needs to go back for this.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Which again, he doesn't really have anything good left after this. He's done with his dungeons that he can clear. So he might come straight back for the left side.
I guess going back into Mire, I guess is maybe one thing. Like, would you try and go back into Swamp? Because, you know, he does skip half of it, and then he also picked up the Swamp Big Key here in Mire.
Yeah, true. He still has 4 items left now with this Big Key, right? Since he didn't do Compass Chest or left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, certainly if you're rooting for, you know, the 4 gamers and for Specks' survival, you know, you do certainly want him to go back into Mire. Now, again, I don't think it's unreasonable for him to go back into Mire, but it might be, like, a harder ask, given how much of the dungeons stuff that he's already skipped. Now, like, that being said, because Eastern Palace Big Key, you know, again, it can't be in GT, and if the Ice Rod and GT Big Key just kind of show up before Eastern, like, that would be, you know, like, we can at least, you know, Specks can be kept out of GT, right?
Yeah, big moment now. Does he go back in or does he... Okay, well, that's not great for him.
It's less good, yes, I do agree. However, and you know, again, I don't think it's, you know, necessarily like so many nails in the coffin. It's just, you know, if he prioritizes to go back to Meyer before all the stuff that he's, you know, has to, all the more difficult decisions, right? Then I think he still would probably be, you know, in decent amount of shape. Oh, look, it's our first bottle. First logical bottle. Specs is like, I could have, this would have been kind of nice. Not gonna lie. So, okay, so what's left then? I guess we have 2 checks in Eastern now. We have 1 check in Swamp. We have the Mushroom Turn-In.
Yep, we have the tablets.
We have the tablets. Good point. Okay, so that could be another thing that could motivate Specs to go into Swamp, because then like he can check Bombo's tablet after, either before or after.
Yeah, and that seems to be where he's headed. Please.
I
assume he did K45 after Swamp.
He did, yes.
Remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy. Unless that Ice Rod shows up somewhere, then it could be it could be another 2 checks for us. But until then, we unfortunately don't have enough access.
Yeah, the only thing I could be at Pyramid Fairy at this point is the GT Becky, or well, the boots, which we only need. You know, we need them to have fun for sure, but to beat the seed, we might only need them if they lock the GT Becky.
I'm beginning to understand maybe why Humbug decided to give this mode to Telethar. We'll see. Okay, alright, Bombo's tablet is just 10 arrows, unfortunately. I was also gonna say, the sword situation maybe also wasn't that great, right? Because, I mean, like, okay, we did get 1 on the pyramid, and that was early enough, quote unquote, I don't know, ish. Like, you know, we like, Telethar at least, you know, did certainly rush it as fast as I think he could, right? We got Mid-Starkwold access, we had to go to the village, you know, we had to go get our hammer out of Skullwoods, and then we gotta go to like a Hype Cave and Pyramid, right? So at least we kind of got that in 30-ish something minutes. But then, like, the next sword, right, was on Right Side Desert, and we didn't really have Desert Palace access until, I don't know, like 4 dungeons later, right?
Yeah, they could have actually had the Master Sword for Cold Staff or what it's worth. They had already beaten Moldor, Alma, and Blind before going to Ice.
Yeah, that's that is.
Obviously, you're not very incentivized to go there, to go to the pedestal before going to Ice Palace.
Yeah, especially at that point we didn't have a flute either, because we found the flute in Ice Palace, and so like you have to walk all the way to the pedestal. Can't dash, you know, can't do anything. It's really just only for 1 location, right? In this case, you know, we can see that it was a sword, but you don't know that, right? So yeah. All right, so Telthar's gonna go after his Eastern Palace. We believe that. Okay, where do you think boots are, John? Where, like, do you think they're gonna be in Eastern?
They're probably in GT at this point.
They're GT, okay.
As much as
I had heard that because you need either the boots or hookshot, you know, to enter Meyer. If only if you one of them, it leads the other. Small rumor, but I'm hoping in this case it'll be true.
Yep, you do need one or the other. Unfortunately, they found a hookshot, so they don't need.
We'll just well, the hookshot will lead to boots, right? Or whatever's in Meyer, right? That will lead to boots, which is Eastern Palace boot key. Yes.
Okay, there we go. Yes, that makes sense.
All right, Spexus has finished up his. Did you know that the bird doesn't pick you up if you're caved?
Well, you can't see you. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's I never thought that you needed you needed that. By the way, Specs is also he is doing an out of logic but physically possible check. You see him actually spamming the fire rod. Walking over here to Magic Bat. Oh, wait, sorry, you couldn't actually see him walking over because he was caved. But we are going to get a Magic Bat check.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling a bit desperate now, probably. Going all the way here to check this.
Yeah. And Specs has had quite the roller coaster for maybe those of you who are coming in a little later. So he understandably kind of like last located his hookshot in Dark Cross. It was a little unfortunate because he was there pretty early. He could have gotten Dark Cross without the lamp. Lamp came out a little bit, earlier in Dark World. It just had had the hook shot. Last did that, and then he ended up taking early death to blind on a swordless off-script fight, and then he tried to go to Cold Stare, and then also had to do Cold Stare twice. So as a kind of result, he skipped like major chunks of dungeons that may or may not have progression. The only thing that's burned him so far. See, easy, just on Armos.
You called it, yes. Telethar finally gets to play the game.
Yes, after an hour, 38 minutes. If you ever if we had a spoiler log for the seed, you're just like, okay, boots, where are boots? Oh, they're at Armos. Oh, okay, Eastern Palace. How bad could this be? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where's Eastern Palace big? Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, Specks definitely.
Specks is just to get the bombs for ice, then finally going to Meyer.
Yeah, good point. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about the fact that this seed also just didn't want you to have fun, period. Because mirror on purple chest, classic, location that everyone's gonna last locate. Boots, obviously, we see on Telethar side finally at the hour 38 mark. 100 minutes basically without boots. Yeah, and I guess I think it's credit to Specks. He believes, certainly up against an opponent like Telethar, you don't think that you can give up very much time, willingly or not. And the fact that he does have time that he believes that he has given up to Telethar with boss stats, he's trying to make up his time. That is the ice rod, by the way, on Graveyard Ledge.
Yep. We can now get into GT to find our GT Biggie there. That's probably where it is at this point. We've seen everything except for tablets, right? No, we don't know Ether tablet. We saw Bombo's tablet on Specks' side. Okay, he did go there. Okay.
Yeah, it was just 10 arrows. But this is gonna be pretty interesting because so he knows that if he, he can't get into GT, right? Because he doesn't have the Eastern Palace big key.
Yeah.
So he can just go right. So then even if he just goes through Turtle Rock and finds nothing, then he has to go back to one of his locations.
Yep.
That he ended up skipping.
Yep. Which, by the way, when he went back into Swamp, he skipped left side. He just got big chest and compass chest. So
okay.
You might see him go back there.
This might tip him a little bit on balance to Meyer, though, for what it's worth, right? Because I think doing Meyer left side is faster, probably, right, than doing left side Swamp.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, he has. I mean, that's just a bunch of stuff he still has open, right? He also has the big chest of Pod and the big key chest of Pod. He has Spiral Cave still, which he will probably do after TR, which will give him his 5th Pod key.
Telethar has absolutely no way of getting himself baited by not picking up this item. Look at that better copy of his sword.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, when is Telethar going to make his way to Graveyard Ledge?
What does Telethar have left?
Mushroom?
Mushroom turn-in? He has Catfish? He could do Graveyard Ledge into Catfish?
I think he has done Catfish. He has 2 Ice Smokies.
Oh, okay.
He must have done it.
Okay, I must have just blanked out on that part because,
Oh, actually, according to his personal track, he only has 1 Ice Mall. Sorry, I don't think he has been to Catfish.
Okay. We have Roller Room also in Turtle Rock. I did forget about that as well.
Yeah, we have Roller Room, we still have Mini Cave.
We have all the boots checks too. Oh man, imagine doing boost checks. Okay, no. I mean, I'm not. I don't have to imagine. Telthar's literally doing the boost checks for us right now. Yeah. But the fact that he's doing King's Tomb right here, I don't know, makes me wonder about Graveyard Ledge now. It's a little bit harder to go back to. But again, you can combine it with Catfish.
Yeah, that's probably. I would assume he does this before he goes back up to Tiara.
Yeah. I'm also wondering, so we can do the fast boost checks. I mean, are all boost checks fast? Yes. But, King's Tomb into Bonk Rocks, if your Ice Rod's just here, you just go up, right? Yes,
Yeah,
I certainly agree with what you guys are saying, Zaru and Tyler.
Yeah.
And by the way, yeah, it looks so Telethar's is he gonna search for the ice rod in Turtle Rock?
Probably Ether first. Maybe Hera Basement. And then...
Do we have the key?
Yeah, he does have it.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess this is going to be TR here. And after that, he's gonna do the Grey Village stuff. I like how he just skips that small key because he knows he just doesn't need any anymore. He already has everything.
Yeah, it's probably like a... Okay, right, I think we went through the list before. Sewers key, or High Castle small key, GT key, or... what else do we have?
I think that's even it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, two GT smalls and High Castle small. I'm missing.
Yeah, I think I want to say that Bumper, they both checked Bumper, and it was just not, it was a compass, right? So they both know that they don't have to go back for that. Yeah, again, this is another good reason why I think, yeah, Grey Village is pretty isolated for Telethar. We are also, by the way, we're getting more checks in Turtle Rock. This is something that nobody could really get to before. So this is actually all new stuff for Specks, because Specks basically, I think he went through just Crystal Roller, wherever the flippers were, and then he didn't keep going, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he still hasn't done Laser Bridge. So we might actually see him go to the big key chest after all. At first, earlier we said he probably will never check it, but considering...
Yeah, how much stuff he has.
Yeah, he doesn't really have much left that he hasn't skipped before. He might just do it here.
I feel bad for Specks having to not be able to dash the second time into the dash room. Surely the third... No, he won't be here a third time.
I don't think he will be. Telethar, on the other hand.
He will be able to dash in the dash room. Yes. But yeah, no, I think Chad was also mentioning this earlier, was that this is going to be... Telethar's going to go in here without the ice rods. He's going to search for it, and then he can't beat Trine, so he's going to have to come back, basically. So give Specs a little bit more time, because Specs is going to be able to finish Turtle Rock. Now, kind of the question is, like, where is Specs going to go after this?
Yeah, Telethar is gonna go all the way to Mimic Cave here, because he didn't have the mirror the first time he was here. And yeah, he did check the big key chest earlier, since he safe skipped that. So
yeah, it was just 20 rupees. But still, going over to Mimic Cave isn't very... I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Like, that is like where the, it could be where your ice rod is.
Yep.
But sometimes, you won't like it, but it's just it's kind of like sometimes eating your vegetables. Sometimes you just gotta do it. Especially if you're Dunker. Yes. Right. Eastern Palace Big Key was in Meyer Compass Chest, which is on the Firelock side, and it is the faster of the two checks, at least on that side. But it's not considered that fast either.
It's like pretty fast. It's like not slower than Lobby Chest.
Every single time I say, do you want X and Compass Chest? And I don't think you've ever said yes to that answer. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm a little skeptical of your. It's fast. It's a fast check.
I also wouldn't take the Lobby Chest for what it's worth.
All right, fair. We found a 4th sword, by the way. It's on Trinex.
Yep.
It was there all along. I'm pretty...
Specs could have skipped Pedestal when he checked it.
Yes, yeah,
if
right.
If he's not gonna blindfold it, might as well.
Alright, well... So... Okay, so Specs is done. He does a Pyramid Fairy open, I believe, after this, because he did do 5-6. I don't know if he knows he has Pyramid Fairy open.
Yeah, he's going, I think. And this is Swamp Dip number 3.
Oh, no. Let's just think that it's gonna be Pyramid Fairy for him. I'm sure. I just didn't remember. Okay, yeah, I just didn't remember if he like talk to the bomb shop guy, or maybe he just saw in his inventory he has all
Yeah.
5, 6 crystals. Okay, he just checked with the menus. Thanks.
Yeah, Telethar's gonna get his ice rod now. He's saving with the pyramid. Gonna be Graveyard Ledge into Catfish. He might stop at Graveyard Ledge when he sees the ice rod because that's GT mode. We'll see what
I was gonna ask you, like, would you still go to Catfish? Because you're still missing GT Big Key, and I don't know how much further it is to Catfish from Graveyard Ledge, or would you basically just assume that your GT Big Key is in GT?
Depends on how good you feel about the seed. Telethar just the TR for nothing. He's basically astrocating this ice rod. He's probably not feeling great. But little does he know that Specks.
Specks did not have the best time. Specks did not have the best time in this seed. He's still boostless too. I do feel for him or them because they were boostless for a very, very long time, and Specks is continuing to stay in that state.
Yep.
Yeah.
not the most fun experience. Okay, nothing in Pyramid Ferry. Yeah, this would have been like one thing that, like, it wouldn't really keep him in the game. Like, I don't think this would let Specks win at all, but it would have been at least kind of good for him if the GT Big Key was there. Because Telethar's gonna clear out all of the TBS man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree.
But yeah. Back to his third threat through TR. Telethar probably enjoying his time here. You know, if you've dipped TR this often, you should be allowed to take a shortcut and just clip to the bridge. I would be in favor of that.
Should we alert Tark? Maybe we don't have to do it necessarily for this particular race, you know, but maybe we can consider that for future.
Yeah. If you've dipped TR only 2 times on your third trip, you're allowed to just clip to the bridge.
Okay, that's a proposal. That's a proposal you're gonna pitch. Okay, all right,
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. Yeah, and to answer, to just kind of recap right now. Yeah, so Telethar, as Gemma mentioned before, is on Turtle Rock trip number 3 after have come back with the ice rod. So we're finally gonna, you know, finish this dungeon, and then he just needs the GT Big Key, which at this point, because between Specks and Telethar, I think they've checked everything that's not inside GT, so it'll probably just be there somewhere. Specks, through his tumultuous adventures across the seed, as tumultuous as you can get without boots, has ended up skipping a lot of the later dungeon contents, and yeah, he has left his Eastern Palace Big Key in the Mire Compass chest, which is left side Mire. So that's something that he has to go back to. He does have, I think Jem mentioned also, his third foray into Swamp Palace. He has left side. He has 2 checks in pod, which is the big chests and big key chest. And he has Mire.
Yeah, he also left behind the TR Big Key chest.
Oh, and the Big Key chest in Turtle Rock. That's right. Yeah. So none of Specs's options left at this point are remotely appealing, like at all.
Yeah.
It's because like some of them he purposely skipped, hoping to win burn them, but then now now comes the hard part of which one do you go back first to?
Yeah. Oh, we also actually have Thieves on Big Chest. That's also a fun one.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I completely forgot about that one too. Yeah, because we found the small key to Thieves Town in Swamp Palace. Or sorry, in Ice Palace, yeah.
And yep, that's where we're going, isn't it? Thieves on Big Chest.
That is the only thing left in this area. Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, this seed is difficult for sure.
Yeah.
It's I mean, oh, certainly for Specs, the earlier blind fight that was swordless. It was a little bit unfortunate because he ended up skipping Pyramid on his way to Pod, which had their first sword, and then his basically just like the invasion of all the cold steer piles onto him, plus the icicles. I don't think he was able to survive. So.
Yeah, it's to a degree understandable that Specs made the skips he did. Because yeah, you definitely don't feel great about your position in the race. A, dying to blind, B, like skipping the hookshot for so long, and then also dying to cold stare.
Yeah.
Like you have to make up time somewhere, and
yeah. No, I definitely agree. And a lot of stuff was actually like the stuff that he skipped was really good. I mean, the fact he's still skipping left side is still very good for him. It just happens to be that like eventually, right, you are gonna skip something that you aren't supposed to, and it was kind of unfortunate. It ended up being a mire.
Yeah, his position in this race could have been like pretty good if. Oh, no, that's not it.
I saw some chat, murmurings earlier. It's like, where can the GT Bicky be? And yes, apparently the Bicky to Skull Woods, Skull Woods Big Chest can in fact be a location for the GT Bicky. Please, let's just have it in GT somewhere. All right, that would be quite nice. I believe everyone here is interested in achieving a result for this race. Specs. He's still playing, right? He hasn't seen the dot done, from Telethar. He's still looking for his Season Palace Big Key. But I'm pretty sure, like, when we're close to the 2-hour mark, not even spec specific, like, you have no boots, you're still looking for stuff, you might be willing to, speed up the results process a little faster, on your side or on their side.
Why is it that every time we need a big key for Go Mod, like we always find every other big key first?
I thought that was a rule of Rando. You find every single big key that you don't need before the one that you do need.
Yeah, they should change that. They should put the required big keys earlier. That would be more fun.
Okay. We'll talk to the devs.
Okay, thank you.
Is this required? Okay, can you put it earlier? Doing Hero Basement for 20 rupees on Spec side, and I was actually wondering, I forgot that he didn't have this done either.
Very nice early bomb throw into chest grip.
Yeah.
Telethar side. It was actually pretty difficult.
Specks also still did some pretty good things here. Like he didn't isolate Graveyard Ledge. Like that was something he actually got pretty early. So he was able to take out GT, one shot. Oh, thank you. Look, okay, what check was that? Check number 20?
13.
13? Okay, 13, perfect.
Well, according to the
13, we have the compass, yes.
I guess you did look at the torch, so it would have been 14.
You're right. I forgot we even had the compass.
We have the technology to make the life easy for us.
At least we didn't have to go back to Skull Woods yet another time. Alright, but yeah, that's finally go mode for Telethar at like 1 hour and 50 something. So he's done everything else in this game. He just needs to climb the tower, and then he just needs to beat Ganon. Yeah, see, there's some questions about where silvers. We would also like to know. I don't know if. I mean, would you search for silvers here, Jum, upstairs?
Yeah, you have done like everything, right? The odds of them being upstairs are pretty good. Like, what does Telethar have left? He has Catfish, he has Scout's Big Chest, he has the 4 chests upstairs, and he has 5 chests on right side GT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think he's done Hope Room actually, so I guess those two as well. I think.
Okay, so he basically, yeah, right. So he has like 10 checks basically left, in 10, 15 or something, right, in the game left. So okay, so chances of silvers could be still pretty good. Okay. I just didn't know in this case you thought that they would save enough time because you already have Gold Sword, you have like, you know, a bunch of other stuff that would make your life a little bit nicer, but.
Yeah, but yeah, second time investment of like I don't know, 5 seconds to check all the chests. No, like more like 10 seconds maybe because of the fanfares. Like to check 4 chests and like they save you like 32, 35 seconds on Ganon.
Yeah, and I think probably at this point, you know, before in this case I, you know, eat my words, I've probably exhausted the majority of text box items, like no small keys, no maps, no compasses. So then if they're actually just gonna be like 20 rupees or something, right? Like you don't have an additional, you know, you have found the blank to this dungeon, you know, type of thing. It'll cost you a little bit more time. So maybe it makes it like incrementally more worthwhile.
Yeah. There's a 5 arrow spot in the pre-modern room. So he can look for silver still.
We were playing retro, that was 5 arrows. Hey look, we found silvers!
Yes.
They were in the good chest too.
Top right, Telethar.
Okay. It's okay, we're just gonna get all the pots. It's circle of pots in the pre-modern chest. That's how it is. It's a great content. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anybody open all 5 or lift all 5 pots in that room.
I did not expect Telethar of all people to not know. It's the top right.
Don't you always get those like those arrows like right before? You get like the if you do the right side, you just get the arrow, you get the full magic, and then you just leave, right? Isn't that?
Well, I mean, usually you just have arrows, so you generally skip that part.
That's fair. But... I think I don't know if we're gonna get a second chance to see. That's the Eastern Palace big key for Specks, by the way. But I don't know if we're gonna see on Specks' side what that pre-molten chest is. But I mean, could have been just 10 arrows there.
I suspect Specks will not make it to that chest.
I guess Specks can't know that he's in go mode until he finishes Eastern, right?
Yeah,
so he's definitely still checking those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is like he's not mirroring out after getting that Eastern key because like in his eyes, this is like his last chance to somehow maybe be still in the race. He pretty much knows he's done, but. Like the last copium, right? It's like, okay, what if my opponent also skipped all of this stuff, but then they got the Eastern Big Key and mirrored and skipped their GT Big Key and cutscene chest, right?
Yeah.
Like the last amount of copium that could keep him in the race.
He at least has never touched left side swamp. That's something.
He's the real winner, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
No, never mind. He's 2 hours and he still doesn't have boots. He's not the winner.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, like he was the unfortunate tail end of. I mean, the boots were super far, but he's only out like 20 minutes from, or maybe like 20-ish minutes from not having boots. But yeah, after it's crossed the 2-hour mark, though, it doesn't feel very good. That is it though. Telethar at the almost sub 2 hours and 2 minutes. Big GG's. He is the survivor in 80 keys between himself and Specks.
GG's.
Specks is mid arrow shot in Stavros' room, but I think that's probably that might have been I saw the race room result. I am interested in no longer playing the seed situation. Big GG's to Specks. It was a difficult seed. I think we're also joined by Telethar. Telethar. GG's.
GG's, Telethar.
GG. We called that a typical seed. Is that?
Yeah, very typical.
Yeah. Yep.
We love mirrorless purple chest.
Yeah, and the boots.
Locking boots like 10 spheres later.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, and the boots are not even close to coming in play. Plus, you have to go back up for the bombos to get to get your ice, to get your flute, to get your fire rod out of the desert.
Yeah. Just the seed was not good. Not good.
No.
I thought that actually Humbug was very generous to give you 80 keys, and then we're watching the scene. And I'm like, I'm not really sure if that was actually a gift, but you know, you survived. That's the important result.
Yo, is Specks is in the waiting room. Okay.
Yeah, he's here.
Go Specks. Yeah,
GG
GG's.
Specks.
GG's.
I'm sorry about the seed.
GG?
It's all on me, 100% on me. So.
That cannot be possible. That seed sucked. What?
No, I sucked more than the seed Telethar, I promise. But GG's, you definitely deserve this one.
Okay,
Yeah, so
what went wrong?
A lot. I got tilted really early on. Let's see. The high points would be I got to Dark Cross hookshot really late. Like after I already done like Catfish, Pyramid Ledge, failed my splash delete for Zora because I had Insula Index issue. I did a bunch of other stuff. Basically, got the hookshot super late, and then I had also before that died to blind because I just played it bad. And then I died to Cold Stare later on, and so the whole time I was a skipping machine. I skipped a lot. All things considered, I got less punished than I deserved. But I just got into Eastern Big when you finished.
Oh, you have your ice rod?
Yeah, I got that before I went back to TR for the second trip.
Not me.
That explains it. Cause I was just like, I never found GT Big, so I'm like,
That's in GT, yeah.
Okay, but okay.
I mean, I was also pretty late to hookshot, but I never did Catfish, so like, maybe not quite as late.
You're not quite as late, but that sounds like I based off your time, I know it didn't. I know you had some issues with the seat too, but yeah, I just skipped like a maniac with on-ball plays at the end because I'm like, only way I'm in this after I already did so many things wrong. Because my main problem is I just got tilted at the beginning, which I gotta work on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, seems like the seed. Did you ever get boots at all?
Yeah, they're on Armos.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, you were so close, Specs. Like, I mean, we're really happy that we finally saw them on Telethar side, but at the same time, it's like of all the things that you unfortunately like left behind, like of all things, right? They like lock the boots, and you just went everywhere else before then. It's like, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. But nah, I gotta work on my tilt factor, so that's on me. So good learning experience.
All right, well, GG.
Yeah, GG Telethar.
I think Clear Mouse needs to go do another commentary.
Maybe, but no, I don't want to rush you guys either, you know. So you guys are the important ones, you know. Don't worry about me. But maybe everyone is just interested in not talking about the seed anymore because it was kind of a dumpster fire of a seed. But yeah, but GG surviving Telethar. I'm sorry, Specs, about the seed and your experience. But hopefully in this case, it is a team event, right? And you guys still have a fun time to go.
All right, are we good for me to wrap things up?
Yep, I think so.
Sounds good. All right, so I want to thank everybody. Thank you to our runners, Telethar and Specs, for the awesome race. Thank you to Clear Mouse and Gem for the commentary, and Iker for tracking. I think that does it for ZSR tonight. Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, we have a Leech of the Past randomizer cross keys match between Stan and Adirondack Rick. And then at 11 p.m. tomorrow Eastern Time, we have another Survivors of Hyrule tournament match, quarterfinals between Tam and Ganon's Gone Wild, which I believe they're hoping to be the final match between those groups so they can actually move on to semis to see who actually progresses on. And yeah, that's going to do it for us. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Hope you had a wonderful time and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye!